Hey, it's Victor from Smoky Pan, and today I'm going to show you how I make one of my favorite pulled pork sandwiches. But, you know what? Let's rewind a little bit. Oh yeah. There are as many recipes for pulled pork as there are cooks in the world, and they all have one thing in common, and it's cooking low and slow. I'll start by zesting 4 limes. If you don't have a zester, a peeler can also work, but try to avoid the bitter white pith. Just remember to remove the peels afterwards. Anyway, put all the zest into a large, oven-safe pan. Then we're going to juice all those limes into the same container. Next, smash and chop about 2 tablespoons of garlic and drop that in. I forgot to hit record when I dropped in half a teaspoon of dried oregano, but let's move on. Hit it with as much black pepper as you like, at least a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, and half a cup of orange juice. Maybe a little splash more. Now that the marinade's done, I'm going to add in this 5-pound pork butt, so everybody in the pool. Wrap the pan tightly with foil, then place it in the oven at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 7.5 hours. I arrived at my own formula for cooking time and temperature through trial and error, so I'm putting my formula on the screen right now. I also found that in low and slow braising, you don't need a marinade ahead of time. The time in the oven is going to do that for you. Now, while the oven becomes my employee of the month, I'm going to make a Thai basil chimichurri. Cilantro haters, look away. First, pluck half a bunch of Thai basil, then rip up an entire bunch of cilantro and soak them while we prepare the rest of our ingredients. Slice a Meyer lemon in half for its juices, and now for the poorly angled blender shot. In goes the Thai basil and cilantro, a fistful of garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, 2 red jalapenos roughly chopped, 2 tablespoons of roughly chopped ginger, 3 tablespoons of finely minced lemongrass, and half a cup of vegetable oil. Now, watch carefully. This is a cautionary tale about making sure you check your tools. If I hadn't noticed at this point, I would have short-circuited my blender base because the bottom was leaking. Okay, second time's the charm. There we go. Learn from my mistakes so you don't have to. Now that my chimichurri is done, I'm going to precariously dump it into a tiny squeeze bottle with deep regret. Don't worry, the rest of it ended up in a proper container, and that can all go in the fridge. I really like pickled carrots and daikon, and this is my favorite way to make them. In a saucepan, add about 100 milliliters of water, 100 milliliters of white vinegar, and 150 grams of sugar. Then bring that to a boil. While that's going, slice up half a pound of carrots and half a pound of daikon or Chinese white radish into matchsticks. The smart thing to do now is to mix them all in the bowls that you sliced them in, and then put them in a temperature-safe container. So did I do that? No. I put them all in a suspiciously, dangerously thin pickling jar, then poured over the hot brining liquid. Anyway, once the sugar's dissolved, which shouldn't take long, pour it over the carrots and daikon. This is just one way to make traditional banh mi pickles. Fast forward to about 7.5 hours and our pork is done. I wore my Sunday best to take it out of the oven, then let it sit for 30 minutes before shredding with a couple of forks, and then I just put it back in the oven on the warm setting. Now it's time to prep the toppings for the sandwich. I'm going to start by slicing some red onion, a bit of red jalapeno, a lime wedge, and some roughly chopped cucumber. At long last, we're ready for assembly. I'll start by crisping up about a fistful of pulled pork on a pan on high heat. Next, I'm carefully slicing a large French loaf in half before topping it with chimichurri, totally forgetting that I still wanted mayonnaise, topping it with onions, cucumbers, red jalapenos, cilantro, pulled pork that's crispy now from the pan, and pickled carrots and daikon. Okay, it's pretty hard to close a sandwich that's this big, but you know what we're going to do? Oh, you saw that grill in the background? Yeah, we're using that with a little bit of vegetable oil. This is not a classic banh mi. Actually, banh mi means sandwich, and it also means bread, so it kind of is and it... Oh, okay, focus. Back to the sandwich. Let's toast that on both sides until it's crunchy. When both sides of the sandwich are crunchy, I'm going to move it to a board and cut it at an offset bias. And now I'm ready to eat, so I'm going to plate it up with some extra pickles, cilantro, onions, and that lime wedge from earlier. And honestly, this is everything I need in a sandwich, especially the fact that it's cut in a triangle, because, scientifically proven fact, triangles just taste better. Let me know how you like your sandwiches in the comments below, and if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Share it with your friends, like this sandwich. Thanks for watching. Whee!